I want you to look at yourself and ask you this one question. If you want to be so rare, if you want to be the 1%, what is stopping you? Is it you? Is it people's opinions? Is it the thought of not making it? Is it those limiting beliefs? These questions all lead to you doing better for you. And one of the things that I look at when I am working on this is, well, first, before I deep dive in this, I just want to talk about our topic today. I haven't posted on here in a minute, so it feels really good to come back. But just wanting to make this known, this video is about doing yourself better, living through purpose, and guiding yourself through that 1% factor, and how you talk to yourself and wanting to do better, wanting to become a different individual. Maybe there's something about you that you just feel ugly about. Maybe there's something about you that just is so unique, but you just don't know how to bring it out. That makes you so, how would I put this? As like your advantage to make you, to put yourself out there in that 1%, to be different. Because being normal is not, it's not a thing. It's, if you're normal, something's wrong with you. Not in I may have said that wrong, but at the end of it, it's the matter of how you picture yourself. So let's talk about this. Your identity with how you see yourself. So one thing that I noticed that a lot of people that are in the 1% category of being different, specializing in something, and just kind of doing themselves better, one of the things that they like to hit on with themselves is they are confident. They are someone that knows who they are. They know exactly what they're going for. They're betting on themselves anytime that they are taking a risk that involves themselves. They're putting themselves on the line, and they're making sure their time is valuable in the way that they're spending it. And with yourself, look at your daily habits. Look at things that are making you behind in life. And I know that's kind of like an open-ended thing where it's like, am I really behind in life? You know, it's kind of that question. But sometimes, yes, we fall behind in life because we are not realizing the form of frequency that we live on and we work on is the result of our habits, the result of who we become and who we stay as. So a lot of low vibrant, a lot of low frequent, low, am I saying that right? I know what I'm talking about. I just struggle with the words. With a low frequency, a vibration, there we go, is really what kind of leads you to not become the 1%, because when you work at a high frequency, you are working at a different level of frequency than other people are. A lot of people are lower frequency that love to be comfy, love to kind of kick back, and I get it. You know, sometimes it's enjoyable. I mean, especially cuddling up with your significant other and watching some Christmas movies. It's the season coming up, and just kind of cozy next to the fire. I get it. I do it too. But you got to know when there's a time and a place for when the matter of putting in the work, whatever it might be, whether it's working on yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, or even financially. Four of these factors I find to live purposefully is to become very educated and intelligent with the way that you move. And that's kind of in a spiritual aspect, but also how you physically take care of yourself throughout this transition. So when you work at a high frequency, you are moving toward becoming less and less like everyone else, as in the norm. Everyone does the same shit. It's bread and butter, same thing. Like, you got to be different. You got to become, I don't know, I'm trying to make an example that's not going to work. You have to be different, just flat out different. If you want to make it in this life, when it comes down to not being the ordinary or the, you want to become the top selected candidate, whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is in life, that is what you should strive for. Because at the end of the day, when you work at a high frequency, you realize, you can see what is that low frequency that you've been working with. And you can see that, you can see the difference when you consistently put yourself on a high frequency and you keep yourself there. Sometimes there will be challenges and days where it will bring you down, where you'll realize you're being challenged to go back down to that low frequency. If it's like an old friend or an ex or an object that is literally controlling you. For an example, for me, I'll give an example of myself. I'm experiencing this recently to where I am on my ass, to I'm trying to keep myself at a frequency of a high frequency. And if I ever come down, I have things that will put me in place to remind me of why it's so purposeful for me to work at a high frequency. And this is something that you can do too. My example is what keeps me at a low frequency is I struggle with self-control when it comes down to playing video games. It escapes my reality, and I understood at a young age I played video games to escape my reality, whether it was my parents fighting, whether it was just not really enjoying life. Like, I'm sure a lot of people might understand just the deeper rooted reasonings of playing video games, because you're living a different reality that isn't yours until you turn the game off, and then all you can see yourself in, all you can do is see yourself through that TV screen that is now black after you shut everything off. It's you and your own reality and the way that you live your life. Yes, it's nice to kick back. I still play video games to this day, but I put limitations in the way that I do it and who I play video games with, and if it's the weekend, if I earned it. So we're going to go into this with working at a high frequency and becoming rare. Is you have to understand your time and respect your time. And the best way to do this is to manage your time. And this is one of the things I fucking suck at. Genuinely being honest, like, I'm not the great at time management. I'm really not. But I will say, when you put things in a time block, like personally, I'll show you right here. My desk is a mess, but I have all these journals. I don't want to go into a deep conversation, but majority of these I work with and I get paid by them to make content for them. The one that I use every single day is the Selfology one. I wish this was one I could market, because this one works for me personally, is journaling. And with having a journal, you can write down how your days are going, your progress. You can timestamp literally everything. I love this journal because it has, I'm telling you on it, it literally has the timestamps of the entire day, the full 24 hours of the entire day. I hope you can see this. And then, like, the thing that I love about this is it has certain philosophies that it integrates with the journal. So, like, your daily ones, this is a typical one on the mind. What did you do mentally / spiritually that really moved you? And then the body, this also can be a physical, if not spiritual, as meditation or working out, getting 10K steps in, you know. And then I'm going on a huge thing. This is going to be a long video probably, but and then it has the Kaizen philosophy of every day being a constant improvement, getting 1% better every day. And it breaks down limitations. So what made you feel limited in your day? What made you work at a lower high vibration that slowed you down? Just like for me, was operating fully function. Operating at a fully function. I didn't operate at a fully function. My brain was just like, my ADHD was getting the best of me, honestly. Next is the underlying cause. I did good today. I gave myself credit because I did work hard on this day. It was just a matter of I just didn't give my full high vibration of effort. And then just some minor parts of my day that really just chipped me off of my game, you know. And then the solution is to keep this going, to keep at it. And then you have your daily insight, and then your whole log of journaling. I recommend this to everyone when it comes down to working on yourself, is to track your progress, to write it down. Literally just write out how your day went, whether it's shitty or good, doesn't matter. Write it down, because you're literally decompressing your mind and putting it down on paper to do better, to live better, to live healthier. That is such a keen thing that not a lot of people do nowadays, is to live healthier, is to do that. So that is another thing of working at such a high frequency, is to log your days, log how you are embracing a new you, how you're changing your identity with how you are living day to day and your day-to-day functions, that you can literally see by tracking your progress. You can literally see and even look back, but you'll know this day by day when you're doing this. And yeah, some days you might miss it. I've been there. Like the last 2 days, I have not journaled. I've gotten to a point where half of it is because of work and just life is very busy, but you have to make time. And that's one thing I lacked. Just throw that out there. I lack time. So with that being said, to become rare, you have to do things that everyone else is not willing to do. To become the 1%, you have to be doing things that everyone else is not willing to do. And even if you're in the same boat as everyone else, so an example that I could give you, that if you follow up on what I do TikTok Shop as an affiliate, and I make videos. I promote, as I mentioned, the journals, these blue light blackened glasses. I promote a lot of things, comfort clothing. You know, you get the gist. And a lot of people want to make money online. They see everyone else making money, and it's really quick how much that money can hit when you do it right. Everyone wants to be in it for the money, but once there's work involved and you have to put in a bunch of effort, it's not worth it. That money's not worth it. This is what makes you different. This is how you program yourself to become different, is to, all while journaling, tracking your progress, you can see the minor differences, the limitations that you had on yourself today, that whether it was a mental limitation, a physical limitation, or even a spiritual one, or even a financial one. All in all, when you try to become a rare person, we're kind of going to the next category here, is the whole mental game. This is sauce. The whole mental game of becoming a high vibrational frequency that you work with is you have to understand the way that you move mentally. And this is a game that I'm entering right now personally, and that's kind of a motive on why I'm making this video, is because it's kind of like my tracking of my journey to share with you, but also to kind of embrace it myself and to speak on this, because if I don't, I feel like I am missing out on kind of like my own gains in a way with my growth. So for you, and to embrace this growth, I want you to put yourself in this position where you have a ton of debt. This is just an example. You have a ton of debt. Your girlfriend or boyfriend is on your ass for some apparent reason, and that's causing a bunch of stress, mental stress on you. Your family is hard to get along with. You might have had someone very important to you in your life pass away, and you feel very kind of lost since that day happened. And there's bills to be paid. Maybe you went to college. You have a bunch of debt. You have debt to pay off. You have family stress. Your significant other is just being annoying and causing you more stress. Life just feels like it never end. There's so much weight on you. At the end of the day, all these things are going to weigh you down mentally. And there's this thing, I don't know how I specifically learned this, but I'll speak on it. You can either, there's a meme about this where it's in a bus. You might have seen it. These two guys in a bus, they look like the exact same guys. One's on the left, one's on the right. And one guy is like so mopey and sad. He's like, I'm just going to do an example. I have no idea what he said, but he's like, today wasn't a good day. And then you have the other guy that's like, today wasn't a good day, with a motive of like improvement. High frequency, lower frequency. It's the way that you live. It's the way that you approach life. So with those examples I just gave earlier, if I gave that to you, you more than likely will, well, actually I can't assume this, but who knows? Whoever's watching this, it's both game. You either could be a low frequency with carrying all that stress, or you could be a high frequency carrying all that stress with a purposeful motive to become the rarest human on earth. A lot of successful people that I've noticed, and I just kind of studied this while watching content from the School of Hard Knocks. I forgot his name, but he does interviews. He interviews millionaires, billionaires, and a lot of them share the same thing, is that like they weren't handed the best cards in their deck, and they had to embrace this mental game of working their ass off. They were on food stamps. You might even be on food stamps. You might be struggling to have housing right now. You might be struggling to have some food in your belly, or some clothes on your back, or a warm bed to sleep in. This is just a whole part of the mental game of just being grateful, to have faith, whatever faith-based religion that you're with. I'm personally a Christian, and it's been a journey. Back in 2024, I thought that was my year. I was going to become successful. I was going to really reach a lot of my financial goals, but God said no. He wanted me to learn. He put me through so many hardships, so many challenges, and it was such a mental game. And to embrace that is one of the biggest things I feel is such a characteristic that not a lot of people carry with them. And this is something I'm embracing right now, right in today. I'm embracing this. You get to a point where you're fucking tired of knowing that you have bills to pay, knowing that you have debt to take care of, knowing that your family might be so poor that it's gotten to a point where it's not just because they're financially poor, but they're mentally poor. And you see these things, you recognize them, you see a lot of these holes and the gaps in the life that we live in today. And a lot of things that we were taught growing up are more than likely a lie and misinformative teachings. This is broad information right now. Could be schooling, could be parents, could be the route that we went on in life. I've talked with a lot of older people that tell me they wish they could have done something different. You know, I'm not going to talk about this, but I'll briefly mention this. I recently met with one of my father's best friends, and two of them, but the one I really connected with. And he's put under so much pressure, but yet he's working so fucking hard. There's periods in your life where you go through a building phase. And this is kind of the aspect of doing the work, but understanding it takes a strong mental mind where you have to be very ambitious. You have to be very progression. Is that even, yeah, it is a word, but the way I put it sounded weird. You have to be so ambitious with the way that you're building your progress. And you have to see it clear. You can see the end goal. You have to tell yourself that you have it already, that it's already in your existence. And I don't mean this to be some preppy kind of manifestation, because I believe in manifestation, but it's the way that you do it. I'm very strict in the way that I kind of speak about this and the way that kind of people do it. I don't believe in the full stretch of manifestation and how some people do it. Yes, you want to hear it. You want to hear the words and speak it into existence so it is your reality. Like, for an example, I drive a Ford Fusion, 2013. It's not bad. But sometimes I tell myself, I'm driving my dream car right now, an Audi R8, $150,000 to $300,000 vehicle. I tell myself that. I envision it. I see myself driving in these cars. Not to be materialistic, because that is not the end goal. That is not. It's to live a very healthy, wealthy life. But to know that this is also attributes of life, and it would be really nice, and that is a goal of mine. And knowing that it's ever right to reach a goal that you have as a desire until it becomes an idolization. But that's a whole different conversation and faith-based and such. But bringing this all together, you're someone that wants to strive to become better, and may even just be a reason why you clicked on this video. Understand that when you're working toward becoming a better you have to understand you may have all the odds stacked against you. You might not even have your parents when it comes down to being able to financially help. You might not have a family when it comes down to like being a trust fund kid. You might not even have anything when it comes down to that, and you might just be on your own. It's all on you. It's tough fucking love, and it's a tough pill to swallow. You have to understand that at the end of the day, you have you. You have to love you. You have to take care of you. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. You have to take care of yourself. No one out here is going to do it for you. You might have a significant other that's going to help you, but if you're just dragging your feet where they're trying to help you and you're just dragging your feet throughout that entire process, you're going to bring them down and you're going to end up being more alone than you already are. Whether it's family, significant other, friend, anyone. Keeping all this in mind. The best way that you can take care of yourself is to put you first in a non-selfish approach. Unless needed be, of course. Because there's always times where we need to take care of ourselves and put us first. Not all the time. Not always being selfish. Just understand that this is part of the process of becoming a rare person. And to embrace this, you have to stick with it. It's going to be new land. It's going to be new territory. You're not going to be aware of it. You're not going to have any idea in how it's going to work. But at the end of the day, it's you versus you. Going through these challenges, going through these bad habits, seeing the difference while journaling, seeing the difference from, the difference from you starting and you ending. The whole journey. This is about making the journey worthwhile, making the process all worthwhile. One of the biggest lessons I think I realized when it came down to goals was I originally, and this is what God did to help me learn more about myself and to learn, just learn, was to not be so goal focused, which is really good to be, but when you become obsessed to a point where that's all you give a shit about, you lose connection with family, lose connection with friends, and just people that mean a lot to you in your life, and you kind of burn those bridges. It's not a good way to live. So understand, track your progress. See what bad habits you have that make you part of the 99% that works at a low frequency. And until then, you can see what you will become when you're working at a higher frequency. You can see the differences. You literally can fucking see the healthier version of you and what you're doing differently. And stick with it. Trust it. You can feel it. You can mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially feel it when you're smarter, when you work in such a intelligent, I can't even pronounce the word, but I can think of it. I can't say it. Pretty much smart. Emotional intelligence. It's intelligence in the way that you live. I don't fucking know. Man. But yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope this helped. This is really helping me, but also I really want this to be very impactful for the viewer, for you, because I feel like at the end of the day, this isn't just for me. This is for everyone that watches my content. I feel very driven to speak on these things because I understand that I didn't have this when I was younger. I didn't have any of this, and I want to be able to provide that because I understand how it feels to not have these connections, these resources, these ways that we live, and the way to make it better and healthier and more loving and caring and live, laugh, love. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, but yeah. Let me know if you guys like this video. Not just like leaving a like, comment. Was it good? Was it not good? You have any suggestions? What should be my next video? But yeah, subscribe if you want to subscribe. I do have a Discord community, as usual. I mean, I say this in every video. Yeah, just stay tuned for the rest of the journey. Peace out.